Hey guys, what's up everybody? Welcome or welcome back to another video tutorial from the Apex Academy of Mathematics, where in this video we're going to be talking a little bit about approximation of numbers, but specifically we're going to be approximating numbers to a given number of decimal places. This is the Apex Academy of Mathematics. We are learning the language of the universe begins here, where we break down your fundamentals, we rebuild you and unlock that genius that lies within you. If this is your first time on this channel, please of course be sure to hit the like button below, turn on your post notification bell and smash that subscribe button for future updates and tutorial videos from this channel. Alright, I have placed quite a few videos on my channel regarding fundamental videos, so please do check that out if you want to know more about what this channel has to offer. Alright guys, so let's jump right into the video. Oh, by the way, my name is Akin, otherwise known as Apex Elenio, your math guru and your trainer to become a math genius. Alright, so let's jump right into the video. We're going to be talking a little bit about what decimal places are, and of course the steps to approximating decimal places, and of course working through a few examples. So stay tuned and watch this video to its entirety. Okay, alright, so let's go. So what are decimal places? It says here that decimal places are the digits that holds a particular place, like the tenths place, hundredths place, or thousandths place, which appears after the decimal point. So in modern times, we refer to numbers as being decimal places, 1, 2, 3 decimal places. But before, usually you'll find in older textbooks, older papers saying round off a number to the nearest tenths, round off a number to the nearest hundredths, round off a number to the nearest thousandths, and so forth. So previously, rounding off a number to the nearest tenths is now being referred to as rounding off a number to its first decimal place. Rounding off a number back then to the nearest hundredths is now being referred to as rounding off a number to its second decimal place, or to 2 decimal places. And rounding off a number to the nearest thousandths means now rounding off a number to 3 decimal places. And of course, you get the whole concept and the whole idea of what I'm referring to. All right, so approximation of a number to a required decimal places is indicated modernly now by the following symbols right here: 1 dp, 2 dp, 3 dp, and so on. When you're doing questions, the purpose of approximating numbers is not to have too many digits behind the decimal point. So usually no questions will ask you to round off a number to 3 dp. If not asked, the required amount is always 1 or 2 dp, or 2 decimal places. All right, so I hope you understand this first part of the notes. All right, good. So let's jump into the whole steps of how to approximate a number to a given decimal place. So approximation of a number to a given amount of decimal places requires 2 steps. 2 very simple steps, like in my previous video, and do check that out on significant figures. The rules for approximation of decimal place for significant figures, I mean, is almost if not the same steps as rounding off or approximating a number to a certain given number of decimal places. So it is the same steps. All right, now it says here that step 1, identify the required decimal approximation and hence drawing a line behind this digit. You see, the big difference with decimal places and significant figures is that with decimal places you must begin your count after the point. With significant figures, you can count from before the point or even after the point. But with significant figures, you must take in account the concept of 0 or zeros being insignificant. So that's where the confusion for most students lie. So hopefully you can watch these 2 videos and you can get some clarity on that. So step 1, step 2, more or less the same, yes? Like in significant figures. Step 2 says here, if the digit behind this line is less than or equal less than 5, we then ignore the digits that appear after the line. Quite self-explanatory. And rewrite the ones before it. However, if the digit behind the line is greater than or equal to 5, then we add 1 to the digit before and ignore the remaining digits after the line. So by now, if you have watched the previous video, as I will put a link in the description below, you will definitely would have understand these step 1 and step 2 already. So let's jump right to the next page and look at some examples. Now, before we look at the examples, we must again reiterate the fact that your first decimal place is the first digit that appears after the point, regardless if it's a 0 or not. All right, so with decimal places, we don't take in consideration the concepts of 0 or zeros being significant or insignificant. In this case, because you're focusing on the number that comes after the point, you will and must include your 0 regardless of its position. All right, fantastic. So I hope you guys are getting some content and some understanding so far, and if you are, of course, please continue to watch this video and of course smash that like button below right now. And if you have not subscribed and you're learning, please do subscribe immediately. All right, so let's look at example number 1. Example number 1 says here, you are to round off or approximate 27.314 to 1 decimal place. And as I mentioned right above here, that your first decimal place is the number that comes after the point. So we're going to not pay attention to the 27, but pay attention to the 3 right here. And that 3 right here is my first decimal place. I will then draw a line after this 3 right here. I will then focus on the number that comes after the point. All right, you can focus on the 1 or you can focus on the 14. Now, if you focus on the 1, you need to check to see if 1 is less than 5 or if it's greater than 5. If you're going to focus on the 14, then you've got to check to see if the 14 is less than 50 or greater than 50. But we're going to keep it simple in this video by just focusing on the digit immediately after the line, which is just the 1. So since 1 is less than 5, according to the rules, we are going to ignore the 1 and the 4 and simply rewrite the digits that come before this line. So your answer here works out to be 27.3. all right, hopefully that is clear for you, not so bad. So let's check out example number 2. So for example number 2, we have 1.4273 and we want to round this off to 2 decimal places. And of course here, my first decimal place is 4, my second decimal place is 2. I will draw my line right between the 2 and the 7. I will then check the number that comes after 7. Now, is 7 greater than or less than 5? Well, in fact, it is greater than 5. So we are simply going to add 1 to the 2 and we're going to get 3. We're going to ignore these digits here and rewrite the ones before. So we are going to end up with a final answer here of 1.43, and that is to 2 decimal places. All right, so we're going to add 1 here. Oh, I forgot to write. Well, you add nothing here. Okay. All right, so that's 1.43. all right, hopefully you guys are understanding the concept so far. Let's jump into example number 3. So we have this very long number. This could be the product or the difference between 2 previous numbers that showed up on the face of your calculator, and you're required to round this off to 3 decimal places. At the moment, it has 5 decimal places. We need to cut this down to 3. And so my first decimal place is 3, second decimal place is 5, my third decimal place is 1. So I'll draw the line right between the 1 and the 5. I will then check the number that comes after, which of course in this case is exactly 5. Now the rule states that if the number that comes after the line is greater than or equal to 5, then of course we do the same thing as if it was greater than 5. So we're going to add 1 to the 1 right here, and we're going to get 2. So we're going to ignore these digits over here and rewrite these ones over here. So my final answer is 514.35. Add 1 to the 1, we get 2. So my final answer is 514.352. All right, good guys, and let's move on to our final example, which of course is the trickiest of all four and trickiest of any approximation questions in math. All right, so here we have 0.09951 and we want to round this off to 2 decimal place. Now here's an example where in significant figures these zeros would be insignificant, so we wouldn't start counting from the 0, we'd start counting from the 9. But however, this is not a case where we are focusing on if the number is significant or insignificant. We are focusing on the decimal position. All right, and so the 0 holds the 10th place, which is the first decimal place. The 9 holds the second decimal place, which is the 100th place. So we're going to draw a line right between right here, the 9 and the 9. So we're going to check the number that comes after. Of course, this number is 9, so we're going to add 1 to the 9. But here, when we add 1 to 9, we're going to get 10. We cannot just simply write down 10. Well, in this case, we can, because 09 will increase to 10. However, the concept is that we add 1 to the 9, we're going to get 10. So we're going to rewrite the 0 here and bring the 1 over to here. And 1 plus 0 is 1. And of course, right back our point, which is 0.10 there. All right, so please do take care when it comes to numbers involving the 9, especially when you have to draw a line between 2 9s or after a 9 or before a 9. You've got to make sure here that you know the carryover technique for this number. All right, fantastic guys. So please guys, review this video if you need to review it for better understanding. All right, and of course this is just part 2 of approximation. We do have part 3 coming up, where we're going to be talking a little bit about standard form. So please do check that video out and check out the previous ones that I posted on my channel. All right guys, so this brings us to the end of this tutorial video, and please do smash that subscribe button below, turn on your post notification bell for future updates on this channel. Do take care. My name is Akin, otherwise known as Apex Selenia, your math guru and your trainer to becoming the math genius that you already are. Take good care, and I'll see you next time.